Being smacked by parents may affect a child's brain development according to a new study. Corporal punishment is still legal in the US. Within the UK, it's banned in Scotland, expected to be prohibited by Wales in 2022, and allowed in England under the reasonable chastisement defense. Basically, it's okay if parents don't leave a mark. While many people recall occasionally being smacked if they were acting out of line, new findings from Harvard University researchers claim it may have an effect on a child's neurological development. Published in the Child Development Journal, its purpose was to examine the association between spanking and neural responses to fearful faces, an indicator of the presence of threat in the environment, using an emotional face task. Katie A. McLaughlin, co-author of the study at Harvard's Department of Psychology, and other colleagues looked at children between the ages of 3 and 11, owning in on those between 10 to 11 who would been spanked but hadn't experienced other forms of violence. As per the Mail Online, she said, "We know that children whose families uses corporal punishment are more likely to develop anxiety, depression, behavior problems, and other mental health problems. But many people don't think about spanking as a form of violence." The young participants in an MRI machine and were shown a number of images of people being spanked and making fearful and neutral faces, with each child's brain activity being monitored for each image. The study noted, on average across the entire sample, fearful faces elicited greater activation than neutral faces in many regions throughout the brain. Children who are spanked tend to exhibit higher levels of cognitive, behavioral, and emotional problems than their never spanked peers. McLaughlin said, "While we might not conceptualize corporal punishment to be a form of violence in terms of how a child's brain responds, it's not all that different than abuse." She added, "We are hopeful that this finding may encourage families not to use this strategy and that it may open people's eyes to the potential negative consequences of corporal punishment in ways that haven't thought of before." An NSPCC spokesperson who also said, "There is clear evidence that physical punishment damages children's well-being and is linked to poorer outcomes in childhood and adulthood. We would encourage parents to use alternative methods to teach their children the difference between right and wrong, with a positive parenting approach such as setting clear and consistent boundaries."